warm welcome back, everyone. We hope you enjoyed the reflection time, and we hope you're able to feel a little of the sense of community and sense of urgency, of personal and human connection, and the desire for collective action, which we feel will be necessary for the important steps ahead of us all now. We'd love for you all, as many of you as possible, to share now in the event chat on the right of your screen some of the insights that came out of your conversations in the networking one-on-ones or in the breakouts, and the next steps, actions which maybe you started individually and collectively thinking about. Please share in the chat and then take a moment to look together at what emerged. So we have heard from hundreds of engaged young changemakers around the world about their realities today. And so what do we do with these results? As a starting point, we have identified 8 recommendations for action for things which we think must change, which young changemakers themselves will now talk you through briefly.
Our first recommendation: focus on the person, not just the initiative. We want to be seen, heard, and valued as individuals. The focus should be on fostering a lifelong change-making mindset that is not bound towards a specific organization or initiative.
Our recommendation number 2 is ensure our financial stability. Money matters. We face high levels of demand and low levels of financial security. Support programs must take this into account. We are doing hard, important work and deserve fair compensation. If you engage us as speakers and promote our work, even as micro-engagements, please make sure that we are fairly compensated.
Recommendation number 3, support us to prevent burnout. Our generation of change makers are burning out at unprecedented levels. And as a sector, we must first of all acknowledge this issue and then take sweeping action to remedy it.
Recommendation number 4, support our initiatives to grow and develop. Many of us are in that dangerous mid-stage where we need more support in scaling and achieving financial sustainability. Connect us to like-minded peers and initiatives that complement our work and strengthen our network. Rethink the funding programs to lower the barrier to access.
Recommendation 5: build upon local and international connections. We can effectively communicate local challenges internationally, while at the same time translate global matters into concrete local actions.
Recommendation number 6, use our strong commitment to make a difference. In the face of crises like COVID-19, we see young social innovators stepping up with constructive solutions against new problems. Our resilience, innovation, and adaptability are vital resources in building healthy societies in the future. We can be accessible role models and multipliers for other young people to start becoming change makers in their own local community.
Recommendation 7. Reduce systemic inequalities in programming. Systemic inequalities are one of our main barriers. We need to put an explicit focus on reducing these barriers in order to achieve real diversity, inclusion, and belonging. This is essential for developing effective solutions for all.
Recommendation 8, give us a seat at the table. We young changemakers are future-oriented and tech-savvy. Help facilitate our access to decision makers and places of power and influence. Amplify our voices and credibility as key stakeholders and contributors.
We hope that many of you saw opportunities yourselves in how to incorporate some of these recommendations into your program designs, into your funding practices, your communication campaigns, maybe your pro bono offerings, or even in your everyday interactions with young social innovators. We are now extremely excited to be launching now, as we speak, our new website, going live this second at thepossibilists.org. And I want to take a second here to give a big shout out to Rainbow Unicorn, our design agency in Berlin, for the awesome visual identity. At this site, you can check out personal case studies and stories of the Possibilists, videos, quotes, see interactive data visualizations and infographics, and you can download both a long academic version and a key insights deck of the study itself. For us, it is crucial that this does not just stay as research, but is turned into action. This is why we are also now thrilled to launch our Ecosystem Solutions Initiative. In this initiative, we will source and connect solutions at an ecosystem level which address the exact issues raised in the Possibilists study. These could be issues which tackle the issue of personal finances, which you saw, perhaps with a new universal basic income for young change makers, or an innovative way of startup funding them. Could be a solution for tackling burnout in young change makers, like our friends, for example, at Recipes for Wellbeing, who are developing tools, running gatherings, and help organizations and individuals cultivate well-being. Could be ways of improving diversity in the ecosystem, like our friends at Bridge for Billions, who offer a digital accelerator for social startups outside the main urban centers who may not have access to the regular ecosystems of support. What we pledge to do is, number one, to source and select solutions which we feel can really make a positive impact in improving the conditions for young change makers around the world, and which have great proven products and services that do so. We will then create and share widely a repository of these ecosystem solutions. We will present and connect them to all the Alliance members. Collectively, we support tens of thousands of young change makers and would have the potential to plug some of these into our work. Finally, later this year, we will run short dynamic gatherings for some of the people behind the ecosystem solutions, giving them the chance to learn from each other and find synergies. We invite any of you who lead such initiatives to submit your solution by 15th of August at our website. And then in November this year, you will find at thepossibilists.org the repository of solutions. We'd like to, at this point, to re-invite Ryan and Mirabel to the stage to share with us a little of what are your hopes for the Possibilists Initiative and Alliance moving forward. What is the significance of this, and what do you hope that we can achieve together? This time, first you, Mirabel, and then straight over to you after, Ryan.
Thank you so much, Nick. As young people, we're fighting hard every day to live, to lead, to survive, and to make the world or our countries a better place. Some of us come from countries and climates where things can be so difficult, not just with our own personal well-being, but also economically, systemically, and even politically. There's so much to be discouraged about, but we still set our eyes to see possibilities where others see impossibilities. For me, I believe that when we have support from social innovation networks, it fosters hope in our hearts, hope to remind us that we are not alone, even in our darkest valleys and journeys towards bringing change. And it's significant that the social innovation networks involved in this study are banding together, not only to improve the social enterprise movements, but also to support us as young people to develop more solution-oriented mindsets and inspire a younger generation to be change agents. When we're supported to live right and take the right actions, it gives us more courage to come up with more solutions to more of the world's most pressing challenges. And there's just so much significance to this.
My gratitude to everyone for your gift of presence. Thank you for joining the launch of The Possibilists. I wish to remind you that the data that we learned today from the Possibilists study are from the lived experience of young change makers all over the world. They are simply not just numbers, but the results of our battle scars, an outcry, a demand, an ultimatum. My hope is that the Possibilists as an alliance, as a study, as a community, as a trailblazer would turn data into solid solutions. Together, we have the opportunity and responsibility to make it better and easier for change makers to deliver impact. We need to address the systemic root causes of the issues that the Possibilists uncovered and build mechanisms to ensure that young change makers are holistically supported. Some of the damage of these experiences is irreversible. I personally have to live with them for the rest of my life. That's why I am committed to helping in building better support system, starting by speaking out today. And I invite you to take an active role and protect the welfare of our young change makers.
Thank you both, for your time and for your very powerful words today. And everyone listening, you can't say no, I don't think, to Ryan and Mirabel speaking from the heart so much there. Thank you again. And we'd like to slowly start to close now by starting to say a massive thank you for all those that have taken the time to be with us today. Thank you, and thank you for really caring about this issue. It means a lot to us. And production team, I apologize, I'm gonna go off script for 60 seconds or so here, but I wanna also share a huge debt of gratitude for everyone who's gone into shaping this study, and because it's been a true labor of love. And big thanks to Matthias, Scheffelmeier, Nadia, Saib for unbelievable overall coordination of this whole thing, supported by Ina. Big thanks. I feel like I'm introducing a music group now. And on bass, thank you also to Nicole Winchell, brilliant editing on this, taking Alexandra's data and first report and twisting it here and there. Thank you to Elena for PR. Thank you also to Alex, Jen, and Koteid from SAP for believing in and sharing this vision from a very early stage. And to Rowan and Rachel from google.org for both your generous support and new ideas for this. Finally, thank you to Tito Spinola and Kinetica, our production and tech teams. And again, to all the Alliance members for your tireless work, both in shaping this and in your tireless work supporting young change makers. If this was an in-person event, remember those, we would now, I'm sure, be having whoops and applause and claps on the stage here. Thank you. A small self-reflection for us. And while it is our intention to honor and celebrate the important work that young change makers are doing, we certainly do not want to celebrate or glorify their suffering. Nor do we want to contribute to the narrative that youth are under obligation to save the world. While they are proving time and time again that they are capable of truly incredible things, they should not have to withstand incredibly negative working conditions. Therefore, let us not sit back and offer them our congratulations, but step in and step up to support them. Our message to young change makers out there, and we know many of you are here, we've heard you, we've got your back, and we're really going to fight to try and make your lives and work easier. Our closing message to the whole ecosystem and all of you with us today, we deeply believe that if we can focus more on the people behind these initiatives, if we can ensure their financial stability, if we can prevent them from burning out, if we can support their initiatives to grow, leverage their strong motivation and local and global connections, if we can reduce the systemic inequalities in support and truly give them a seat at the table, then this all, in turn, can have a really transformational impact for people and planet. Thank you.